Hey guys. We're in 2012 again. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. As you guys can see, I have a new look. I'm a hipster, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've just embraced who I am. I've always been that girl that has existential dread, writes poetry, journals all the time, and hasn't gotten a career because I've done barista jobs for 6 years. These glasses are hurting me.
But I have to wear the fake glasses because that's what hipsters do.
These aren't even real glasses. I've literally been doing this since I was 13. I've been wearing fake glasses. Do you guys remember the fake glasses at Claire's? That was my shit. Dude, the fake glasses at Claire's were the shit back in the early 2000s. Like, I remember I had to wear a pair of glasses, even though my eyesight was completely fine. And maybe that made me a poser.
Maybe I really was a poser.
If I was authentically anything, it was a hipster. Journaling since I was young, going to coffee shops, working at coffee shops my whole life, growing up in youth group with church chads. You guys don't even want to know. I'll just give a backstory. I was the kid who grew up in youth group in a very non-denominational church. We know the vibes. Church chad, hipster guy who listens to Hozier.
My lover's got humor.
Or Alt J.
She may contain the urge to run away, but hold her down with soggy clothes and breeze blows.
The entire culture I was surrounded by was church chads in Doc Martens and those, what are they called? Oh, I forget what kind of boot. Chelsea boots. The Chelsea boots, fedora hats, the skinny jeans.
It's like actually giving hipster Jesus. I think that was the entire point.
Look what I did today. Okay, I got my Docs and I cuffed my jeans. Yeah.
Extra hipster.
Do you know where the walkings go? They go on to take your name.
I loved it. I'm not even gonna lie. I loved it, and I feel like it's what shaped me. As much as, like, it's also, like, cringy and funny and memeable, I loved youth group. I grew up Christian, which I feel like heavily shaped who I am today, to be honest. I was kind of like hipster and goth at the same time, but like the goth part of me was severely suppressed. Whenever I was feeling like a little rebel, I would like listen to Taylor Momsen and be like, oh my gosh, this is so satanic, bro. So I didn't really get to explore my goth side for quite a bit until I was 18. But anyways, that's besides the point. This is about my hipster days. Youth group culture is definitely interesting, you know? You're around the like concert type vibe. It feels like you're at like some indie band show, and you got the smoke, the lights, you know.
The guitar starts, playing the guitar when they're like giving the like super serious sermon.
And they're like, did you know that like Jesus Christ died for you?
And the guy starts like doing the little thing, you know.
And then everyone's getting emotional and crying. They're like, why am I crying? This is the Holy Spirit. But really it's like, well, the dude in the background's also like playing the guitar all like sad and sappy.
Also, my first ever boyfriend was a mega hipster. He had like the long hair, the like man bun. I remember I was just like, when he grew his hair out, I was just like, oh my gosh. But he was also extremely problematic and definitely needed therapy. The stereotype around young adult boys in youth group are true. They are the worst breed of people. Okay? I remember I also had a different boyfriend, and he was also in my youth group, and I remember I tried to hold his hand, and he said that I was a slut for doing that. I guess I was tempting him too much by holding his hand.
Trauma.
But anyways, yeah, my first boyfriend, he definitely had a chokehold on me and my upbringing. He heavily influenced everything that I listened to because, well, every single guy that I fell in love with, I basically stole their entire personality and their music taste, their style. Whether or not that's toxic, we're not going to talk about that. Here's my little, like, backstory onto how I was a hipster. I literally went to a church where there was a coffee shop inside. Okay, I didn't grow up Catholic. I feel like if I grew up Catholic, I would have ended up goth. Catholics are like the goths, the like OGs, the more like ancient traditional type vibe, and then like Protestants were like the hipsters, which kind of like makes sense, to be honest. Who else did I listen to? That song Cigarette Daydreams. Cigarette Daydreams.
You were only 17.
Oh god. And then like the super cringy ones, like the Falling in Love in a Coffee Shop. What is that song? It's like,
I think that possibly maybe I'm falling for you.
and you're just like sitting in a coffee shop, like putting that in your headphones, just like writing in your journal, hoping you like meet the love of your life. That was me. I've always loved writing, so I started journaling since I was super young. I have been a journal girly for a long time, since I was like 13. These ones, the ones with the cool pages, it's like extra hipster. So I've always been a writer. I used to write fan fiction. You guys remember Wattpad? I feel like every hipster loved Wattpad, okay? Like, but also we should have not been on that app at such a young age. And the things I was writing about at 13, I don't even know how I had the knowledge of some of the things I was writing about. What else makes me a hipster? Well, also, I've always written very cringy poetry. At least I've gotten better at poetry now. Oh, another thing. I had a typewriter. Yeah, those are the good days. My favorite movie as a kid was Where the Wild Things Are. I feel like that was like the most hipster childhood movie / book ever. Like, let's be for real. It was a cinematic masterpiece. Also, another favorite movie was LOL with Miley Cyrus in it. I watched that movie over and over and over and over again. It was like a Tumblr cinematic masterpiece. So yeah, by the time I got to high school, I encountered like super niche hipsters, the really cool hipsters. The hipsters that kind of like listened to like 80s music, went to like underground bands. I was like the cringy hipster, okay? The like ultimate like early 2000s like cringe core hipster, okay? And then I encountered like the underground niche hipsters in high school, and I was just, I like literally couldn't be friends with them. I just like, I was so antisocial and like didn't feel cool enough. So I tried other groups of people, like I tried being punk, and I was told that I was too hipster to go to a punk show, and if I showed up, she would
Basically beat my ass. So
that's the story of my life. So then I just like had a really hard time making friends in high school, but I did have a really good friend named Sierra, and she was super cool. And then I just started like trying all these different aesthetics because I was like, I don't know what's cool and like what will be accepted. I had a super white girl face, blonde hair, extensions. I was like trying to be like a normie, I guess. And I hated it. I just couldn't do it. So then I went back to the fake glasses and the beanies and the you know, the hipster vibe. So there you have it. The truth is out. I guess I'm a hipster. My second ever hipster boyfriend, we were like pretty tight. He introduced me to some good music. We mainly listened to a lot of Pink Floyd, so yeah. Another thing I did, pressing flowers into my journals. I'd like pick up a little leaf during the fall time and I'd like put it in my journal. Yeah. Gosh, there's so many things I could name. I really was a hipster, wasn't I? Damn. If you're also struggling to figure yourself out because everyone keeps trying to put a label on you, just know you're not alone, girl. It's okay to be cringy. Alright, well, I'm gonna go on a walk and I think I'm just gonna start listening to Christina Perry again and write in my journal, romanticize toxic love. Because that's what we do. But you're probably wondering, why is this YouTube channel not named Diary of a Hipster Girl? And I guess you kind of have a point. But like I said, I'm a poser, so
If I want to be emo, hipster, goth, I'm gonna be it all. That's just what I decided to do, is embrace who I am, a literal poser. Now I feel like I'm heavily debating if I should change my YouTube channel name to Diary of a Hipster Girl. Man, I can never choose one thing. Even though I know my fate, I'm a hipster. This is it. I can try to be anything else, but deep down at my core, I'm just a cringy hipster.